How's things going with the team as you guys prepare, and just your thoughts on the regional?
Well, we did. We prepared after we got the selection show, understanding where we're going. Obviously, we knew we were in because of the automatic qualifier and where we were. But once we got the opportunity to see that we were in state, and it's just a drive up the road here, our fans get to go and familiar surroundings, familiar teams we played with. We celebrated right away by putting the tarp on the field because the rain was coming in the next 2 days. So they were really excited about that. And then, yesterday we had practice in the raindrops underneath the cage there to get things done. So they were really excited about that. And then they had to come and pull the tarp off the field today. So I think they're a little angry right now, which is great. There's a lot of motivation to get back on the ball field and to get to practice. But they're in a good place right now. They've done some great things this year. And they're just playing ball. That's all they're doing is just playing softball. And it's just like baseball, just play the game. And they're not worried about who the opponent is, and they're not worried about what the situations are. They're just going to go play the game. It's great that way.
It's a good thing they're not worried about the opponent because it's a pretty tough draw you guys got, don't you think?
You think about it. Go back to our schedule. Opened up with Michigan, Florida, Arizona. That was an NCAA regional first weekend. Okay, so, and we've prepared because I think the next weekend was, I can't remember who we had in that one, but it was out at Arizona. Oh, yeah, you had Alabama, Arizona, Fullerton, right? So there's another regional. And then, you come back here and you got Wisconsin and you got Indiana, and then how many other teams that we played that won their conference or in the NCAA tournament? So South Carolina, there you go, right? So it was nice. And to be at full strength right now is a bonus for us. I think we're in a great position. The only person that we're missing out of the original starting lineup was Mia. But she's right with us, and other than that, I think we just can't wait to get going again.
The one game you got in the conference, I saw that you guys were really going with speed, being aggressive on the base pass. Trying to get that one run. Is that something you might have to do this weekend?
Well, you try to get the first. You try to be the first in everything that you do. Get the first run, get the first hit. Get out of the first inning. Do the type of things, and it is a game of firsts. But we played. Move the ball, that's us. And every once in a while we're going to hit a big single that carries out over the fence, and you get 4 out of those. But we're just trying to get the barrel to the ball and make things happen. It's a fast game, 60 feet between the bases, and it's a short field in respect of the way the ball flies off the bat. The way the technology is with the ball and the bat, and so if we can get the barrel to it, we can make things happen. If we get the defense moving laterally, with our steal game and our run game, it opens up holes. So we're not going to vary, and change the things that we do. And we're defense and pitching and timely hitting. That's us. And a lot of champions have won that way.
Is it beneficial that Corrick maybe, gets an extra couple of days rest in between?
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, it was unbelievable, right? You get the Memphis game, and, Devitt hits the walk-off home run to put it, now basic walk-off, but he gets the 2-run home run to kill it in the 6th inning. And I don't know if you realize at that point, I don't know who was faster, once they hit third base, was Devitt going home or me getting into the dugout to get on an airplane in New York. But, when she hit that ball, it was really, really cool because you saved another inning, for George. And then, the softball gods were looking at us favorably, but a rain out the next day to give us an extra day and then wipe out the weekend, which, if you think about it, right, Tulsa loses out early in the tournament, and they're going to get more rest and recovery going to the NCAA tournament if we had to play it all out, So there's some really weird stuff that goes on at the end of the year with tournaments and NCAA bids, who's well rested, who's not. So, we feel pretty good about where we're at. Doyle's throwing the ball well, Egan's throwing the ball well, Hook's throwing the ball well, and it's really nice going into a tournament like this that you're going to probably have to rely on, at least 2 or 3 other pitchers.
We spoke a little bit about George last week. When did you first discover her? What did you like about her?
Yeah, I actually really didn't go to see her pitch. I was going to see her team play and against another opponent. There was 2 little players on that team that had some speed, and then I see this big blonde on the hill, and I was like, wow, that's pretty good. I wonder where she's going, And I went over to their coach after the game, and I went, hey, man, that's a pretty impressive game by your big picture. Where's she going to school? And he says, George, she's just a freshman. And I went, she what? She's just a freshman. We kind of like her, a lot. So, she was incredible at that point in her career, and then a very mature person. She came on a visit, and she was looking to go into marine biology, and things worked out really, really well. But the one thing you noticed about her was her composure. I thought she was a senior, and she was a freshman on the mound against a team that I was watching. It was a really, really good team, and she controlled them really, really well. So I kept watching her, and her demeanor on the mound was pretty special. And then she started pitching for the Great Britain national team, prior to graduating high school. And she's pitching in the World Championships in 2016, shutting Japan down for 5-6 innings. So you knew you had a guy that was unflappable, a guy that just played the game the way the game was supposed to be played, and she's carried that on to when she's got here. So we're lucky. We're lucky.
Yeah, let's start there. I mean, just your thoughts on getting to come up with a big hit for the team.
Oh, it was awesome. It's something you dream about as a kid, to have a walk-off home run, and then for it to be my last regular season hit, I guess you could say. So it's pretty insane. And coming around the bases was hilarious. Coach, hit it. Obviously, it was a home run. So you see Coach take about 3 steps to the dugout, and he goes, "Oh, man!" Shakes my hand and then sprints back to the dugout to get on the plane. So it was funny. But, yeah.
Was he managing for like a run rule? Was there like this stress on you guys?
No, I mean, he was just saying barrel to the ball the whole game. So, of course, it just happens that we got a hold of some balls. So.
Your power stroke, like the one you hit against Wichita, it flew out of there pretty far. So did Houston. Have you been doing something different?
Well, so early in the season, obviously, I struggled a little bit, and then watched some film to actually see it as opposed to just hearing it. And then the difference was just the difference in the barrel. So that's pretty much it. So just rep that out.
Do you kind of feel like you're hitting your stride at the right time this season?
Yeah, I think we all are. Yeah, definitely.
When you guys see who's on the bracket, FSU, they did pretty well last year. South Carolina, all these home runs. What do you think about that?
One thing Coach teaches us a lot is don't play the name game. And we've seen, we saw Bethune last year and in the fall, and then we saw South Carolina this year. My freshman year, we went to this region as well. So, we've played these teams before, and we don't really play the name game. We just play against the game. So, every pitch, every ball hit at us, everything, we just play ball.
I'm sure you get in the batter's box and face George quite often in practice situations. What makes her so tough to hit? Then obviously, other than just the velocity, which we all can see. Is she right behind you?
Yeah, she's right there. She heard it.
Tell the truth.
I mean, I can answer it if you want. Her mix of speeds is the toughest part. She's tough to pick too. Everything's the same every pitch. So the mix of speeds, and for her to throw the changeup consistently that's what makes her so tough.
On the other side, hardly anyone talks about defense. You guys are on point right now. Do you think? It's bound to be a lot of tight games. That's going to be a big thing too.
Yeah, I think our defense is solid. Our pitching's keeping us in games. So I mean, if they do their part, we're going to do ours. So that's kind of where we're at.
What's been different with you this year? I mean, I looked at, your stats. Didn't have hardly any extra base hits. Now you're just killing it. What's the difference?
The big difference is that Coach is letting me swing away. I was really just pigeonholed to slapping my first 2 years. Coach really talked to me about it being my 2 learning years, kind of growing as more of a college player than coming out from where my competition was in high school. So I think him really letting me use all of my areas of hitting has really been able to show on the field and shown to what you guys see. So that's helped a lot.
Did you have to display it in practice? A couple, maybe a big session we just cracked the ball out of there a few times. What made him give you that freedom?
I think he wanted me to expand my game and expand my tools. He always talks about having a lot of tools in your toolbox. So, excuse me. So being able to practice and practice, we practice like it's a game. So it wasn't really hard for me to go up in a game and swing away. I wasn't nervous at all. I kind of just took what I did in practice and let it really fly. So.
Been a while since you guys played a game. How's the rest going with the team? How's that benefiting, and your thoughts on the regional?
The rest days have been great. Just got a massage today, so feeling great. I think rest days are really important when you get into this last stretch of season, because we've already played 60 games or plus. So I think that's a huge thing when you're in postseason. You really got to focus on your rest, and that's what's going to keep you going as teams that can play. If we have to play doubleheader, we'll be ready because we're rested. We're not just going on fumes here. So I think it's good for us.
Was there still any sense of disappointment that you guys went out to Houston to play a tournament and didn't get to finish it?
I think a lot of us are upset. Yes, of course, we worked hard for that #1 seed, and that's kind of what shows. If you work hard during season, good things will happen, if you do have rain delays. So I think the fact that, we did earn #1 seed, it's to have that good feeling, but at the same time, we wanted to win it fair and square. So It does kind of suck. I think I can speak on everybody. We really wanted to win, playing each team, but.
Who was the leader of the pack during the rain delay? I mean, that was not a rain delay. That was like a forever.
Yeah, a storm. I mean, we really kind of all stuck together. That was a huge thing. I think everybody had a part in being a leader in that situation. But we kind of hung out at the hotel, played some games. In our group text message, we were all just chatting. Wanted to play, obviously, but I mean, nobody really we all thought we were gonna play. Nobody had the thought of oh, it's gonna get canceled, we win. No, we were okay, get ready. We're ready to play today, in an hour. So kept us good.
What was your reaction to the bracket? Like he said, you kind of already played tournaments that were like regionals. Is that how you feel too?
Yeah, I'm excited to go to Tallahassee. I think that a lot of us are because, like I said, we've already seen the best pitching. We've already seen these types of teams. It's nothing different. We just got to go and play against the game, and that's how we're going to win. That's when we play our best.
You've already seen your first opponent, South Carolina, here on March 1st. Right?
Yep. Yeah, I'm excited to get a rematch against them. Obviously the outcome wasn't what we wanted when we saw them last, but like any game, it's a new game, so it just depends on who shows up that day.
Well, regional plays here. You got a tough opponent coming up. Coach was saying you've played a lot of tough opponents already. I mean, how did that benefit the team and prepare you guys for this?
I mean, Coach prepares us so much with a tough schedule. We've played a lot of these teams already. Bethune-Cookman, I know for sure we played last year. Florida State, I'm really excited to see them, obviously, natty champs last year. So I'm really, really excited to throw against them and to face them because I think they have a really good program. And it's always really nice to play these difficult teams and not only see their competition level, but also see how they carry themselves, the way that they're coached, everything else about the way that they play, and see what about us inspires us to be a little bit better in that sense. So I'm really, really excited to go to this regional, and I know the rest of my teammates are as well.
When did you get started in softball? How did you get started in the game?
So I actually started playing softball when I was about 11, I want to say, because between the ages of 5 and 10, I sucked at every other sport. My dad wanted me to be athletic. He wanted me to be athletic so bad, and I was awful at everything. He threw me in a pool, and I sank. He put me in golf, and I hit a car, so I got kicked out of the golf course. I played soccer, but I became the goalie, and I just took a nap in the goal because it was really boring to me. And finally, there was an ad in the paper. They're oh, does your girl want to play softball? And it was a terrible rec team, and my dad was whatever, you're going to try something, and you're going to be good at it. And here I am, He was he would just have me out in the yard, and he'd just throw things at me and see how hard I could hit him, and I actually hit him pretty hard. So he's maybe we'll actually try this one, and I ended up sticking with it, and it became my passion, and it's something that I've loved now for going on 8-9 years,
But you were a hitter first.
I was actually a catcher first, if you'd believe it. No one else does. I was a catcher and a third baseman because I told you I was really lazy, so it was really easy to just kind of sit back there and do whatever. But then finally they were hey, do you want to pitch? You're kind of lanky and really awkward. And I was yeah, sure, why not? And I'll try it. And I ended up sticking with it because
How old were you when you started pitching?
I think I was 12 or 13.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait a second. So he just told us you were a freshman, shutting down some teams. So it would have been 14. How did you
14, 15, yeah.
How did you progress so quick?
I had some really phenomenal pitching coaching. One of my closest friends actually now, Shannon Steinhilber, she actually played, I want to say, at Arizona. She was a catcher at Arizona, and she was my pitching coach for those 2-3 years that I really started. And she inspired so much confidence in me, and she took the natural height and gangliness that I had and turned it into something really, really good. And I can't thank her enough for that.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So back to this weekend. If you, I mean, listen, you might have to pitch a couple games in a row. How's your stamina? Is the extra rest in between maybe going to help with that?
Yeah, for sure. So I know obviously we did want to play this weekend when we got stuck in the hotel for 2 days straight. But I think the rest was really good because obviously getting this far into the season, we've played 50+ games, and it can definitely take a toll on you mentally, physically, especially hopping on and off planes, But now that we're home and we're going to be here taking a bus, I feel ready. I feel really well rested. CJ does phenomenal things in the training room to get us all ready. And I don't mind throwing multiple games back to back. I think it's nice to kind of keep that excitement alive, to instead of have a stop start, kind of against Memphis, where we got really, really hype. Lindsay's home run, phenomenal game, and then we had to sit in a hotel for 2 days. We wanted to play so bad. So it's almost nicer to have the games be back to back and just kind of keep that momentum going and flowing.
So I know you guys don't back down to anybody. You will play anybody anywhere, but you guys haven't been to a regional as a team outside of the state of Florida since 2001. Is there any sense of it feels unfair from the NCAA?
No, actually, I think we were talking to Coach about that at the selection show when we were out here on the field, and he said they have some rulings about like your distance close to regionals. So obviously we are very close to Florida. We're relatively close to Tallahassee. So I think it's actually, for the NCAA ruling, they find it easier to have teams that are close to those two regionals if you are or do make postseason and make the regionals to then go to those schooling. I mean, obviously I would love to play anywhere else. I'd love to play anywhere, but I think just making our regional and going to Florida State, which is the number 4 seed, is really exciting, and I think it's a great experience for us, even if it is only in the state of Florida.